Welcome to Microsoft 365 training. In this video, we'll discuss about list settings and how we can change the name of the list, and also if you want to add or update the description, you can able to update from the list settings. And also when you create a list, and if you want to keep that in the navigation, you can able to place it in a navigation. At later point of time, you don't want that to be in the navigation, you can able to remove from the navigation as well. In list, we have versioning concept also. If you have a data and if somebody is modified that data, you want to keep the previous information, you can use a versioning for that. And if you want to restore the previous version, you can able to do that as well. And we have the major and minor version concept that we'll discuss. And we have advanced settings for the folder attachments and such related, and the dialog boxes also, that also we'll discuss in this video. So for that, I'm going back to the list. In this list, if you click this site action gear, you can able to see an option named it as list settings. When we click this list settings, it will open another window. It is not responding now. We'll wait for a while. Now this is a list settings page, and which we discussed in the earlier session also. And when we try to create a columns, and we are created from here. Now here we have couple of general settings are available, and the very first option is list name, description, and navigation. Now the list name is employees, and we have a description to manage employees. That there is some spelling mistake also. We'll correct it. If I go to this list name, description, and navigation, we will get these three options, which is an name is employees, and I want to change this to employee data, and the description is to manage employee information in organization. Okay, well, correct this one. And here, display this list on quick launch. Yes, it is there, so that's why you can able to see this one. And I don't want it, I can click no, then that will disappear from the navigation, and I click save. Now this employees data is not available here, and the list name is changed to employee data, and description we changed, and based on that it is appearing here. And if you go to the home page, in the top navigation also, you don't see that employees data list available here. I'll go back to the site contents, and then in the site contents we can able to see the list. If you click this list, and it will open the view, and the default view is all items. That's why it is showing the all items view. I'll go back to list settings again, and after this one we have a versioning settings option. When you click this versioning settings, and we have a couple of options here. The very first option is content approval. The content approval, actually when a user added a data to the list, and that basically shows to all the users, but what I want is I want to have some review process for that. For example, if somebody created an item, and that item I want to show once it is reviewed and approved. So once it is approved, then only it will be available for the public facing, and this topic we'll discuss in the upcoming session. And this content approval plays a major role in the approval process, or maybe it might be a document, or it might be a content, or it might be an item. We'll discuss this one in the upcoming sessions. The next one is item version history, and it will create a version each time you edit an item in this list. So which is by default, which is enabled, and it will keep the following number of versions, maximum 50 number of versions it will keep. But if you want to increase to 500, 600, you can able to increase. If you keep this empty, which means it stores unlimited versions. So which means, for example, if you keep last 10 versions, when somebody is modified that item, then it will create a 11th version, and the first version of that item will delete, and you will have a last previous 10 versions. The same fashion, if you put 50 versions, the last 50 versions will keep, and if it is into a 51 version, the first version will delete. If you are into 52 version, then the second version will delete. Now here keep draft for the following number of approved versions, And this concept is comes into a minor version concept. And minor versions are something like 1.1, 1.2, like that. The major versions is like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. These all are we called it as an major versions. If you enable this require content approval for a submitted items, this draft item security will be enabled. So if you have a this content approval and then the draft items, which means the minor versions will be enabled. And here it is showing that who should see draft items in this list. Any user who can read the items, which means if it is a draft version and which is not published yet, and still it will be available to all the people who have a read access. And here only users who can edit the items, who have edit items, those people can able to see if you select this option. Our final option is only users who can approve items, so which means I have created a document and which is in a minor version, and if you want to show that to the users, then you can choose these options. But only the people who have a approve access, and those people can able to see if you select this one. So we'll discuss deeply about how this approval process will work and what is the advantage of it. And here which is enabled keep drafts for following number of approved versions. This is enabled because you have enabled this content approval. When I click no, then see the message after disabling content approval, pending and rejected items may appear in a public views, which means if you don't have this content approval enabled inside the list or a document library, and all the items shows like an approved items, which means if you create a document or if you create an item, that will be visible to the public facing who have a read access to the particular list. But if you make this content approval enable, now first when you create the item status would be in a pending state. Only the people who have a approve access and the person who created that item, those can able to view the items until that is approved. Once it is approved, then it will be available to the public facing. I'm clicking OK. Then I'll click OK and we'll check exactly what is the version concept is. I'll go back to the employees data. In the employees data, we have couple of items and we have modified multiple times. For example, I'm selecting this one, and when you go to this eclipses, it will show a concept name called version history. When we hit this version history, and it will show the information related to that item initially, which is created on 23rd June 2022 at 10:36 a.m. and that time we have added title, employee name, employee address, and so on, so on, so. And later on the same day, after maybe after 8 minutes, we have added a country. So that's why you can able to see the country is added and added by this admin user. And later point of time, we have added a couple of other columns like full-time employee, we have updated it, and HRA and bonus. So these two are the calculated columns, so that's why which is updated based on the basic salary. But these two fields which are not available at the time, and later point of time we have created columns and we have updated the data. It might be updated automatically based on the basic salary, but earlier we don't have this HRA and bonus. In the same manner, if you go to any of the columns like any of the items, if I go to here, if you click this eclipses, here also you can able to see the version history. When you hit the version history, it will show the history of that, and this is only created once and no one modified it. So what I'll do is I'll try to edit this item. Now I'm just adding manager is admin. I'm adding a manager to this user. Full-time employees, I'm making yes, and I'm trying to update this salary to 50,000. When I click save, the data will save into this item, and then when you click this eclipses, when you hit this version history, now you can able to see the second version. The second version is created just now at 10:28 p.m. 28th June, and what we have updated basic salary, we have updated full-time employee yes, and the manager we have updated. These two are the calculated fields and which is updated based on the basic salary. So that's why it is also coming. Now here the advantage with this, for example, you have 100 or 200 versions, but you want to restore any of the previous version, you can able to do like I want to update this first version. And when you click this drop down option, and you can able to see view, restore and delete, three options were available. And if I hit this restore option, and it will restore with the previous values, like the basic salary would be 45,600, and the full-time employee is no, and these two will update, and based on that, and also manager is not available earlier, and this will also remove, and HR and bonus also will change automatically. So I'm clicking this when I hit this restore option, and you are about to replace the current version with the selected version, and it will create another version as well. It will not gonna restore on this place or on this place. It will create another version, and it stores as a 3.0. When I hit this OK, and the third version will create, the basic salary is 45,000, and the full-time employee is no, and the manager is empty now, and HRE is changed, and bonus is changed from here to here. So this way you can able to restore the previous versions, and you can able to delete the previous versions also. The delete option also available to the previous version, but when you go to the current version, you cannot able to see the delete option. Even you have a restore option, but when you try this restore option, it will not work, because cannot restore the current version. If you restore that also, it's going to create a same type of item. So that's why it will also, it will also will not restore on the same item. But if you want to view, you can able to view the current version as well, and previous versions you can able to delete, and you can able to restore. On the current version you cannot able to restore, and you cannot able to delete. If you restore also, there is no meaning, because you will have the same item, so there is no meaning. That's why you cannot able to do that. And coming to this, uh, the previous versions you can able to delete, and I'm trying to delete a first version. And remember that if you delete a version also, it will go to the recycle bin. Versions also will go to the recycle bin. If you want to restore the version, you can able to restore the versions also. If you delete the complete item, and the item that included all the versions will go to the recycle bin. If you restore the item, the versions also will come back into the same place. That will discuss when we discuss about a recycle bin. The version history will be available to the items, and also the version history will be available to the documents as well. That we'll see in the upcoming sessions how it will work in the document library. I'm going back to list settings, and I'll duplicate this one. We'll open the same list here in another tab, and we'll go to the list settings. I'll go to the advanced settings. In the advanced settings, the very first option is allow management of content types. Content types are reusable type definitions which we can able to use in a list or a document library. That will discuss in the upcoming sessions how the content types will work in the SharePoint list and a document library. And next one is a permissions, and here we have the couple of options, but permissions is a different different topic, and we have a different type of security levels are available, that we'll discuss in the upcoming sessions. But here we have few options. We'll see how this permissions works in advanced settings. So there is an option for each and every list by default, read all items, which means you are not going to give a read permission to all the users. It is going to give a read permission to the user who have a access to the list. And the next one is read items that were created by the user, which means I'm creating an item and I only get an access to read that particular items. So if you select this one, other users will not able to see the items which is created by other users. And only the users who created that items, and those can able to see that particular items, and other people cannot able to see. And the next option is create and edit access. Here also create and edit all items is available to all the users who have access. If you don't want to go with this, and you can go with this one, create items and edit items that were created by user, which means they can able to create their items, and they can able to edit their own items, and other people items they cannot able to view, and they cannot able to edit in this list if you go with these options. But skip about these permissions. These permissions are only in a limited places. not in all the places. Maximum we can able to use the different permission levels, and granting that permission levels to the users will help in the organizations. The next one is attachment, which is basically enabled. Like if I go to this, if I hit new item, I can able to see this attachment concept, okay, which is loading each and every each and every item can able to hold a multiple items as well, that we'll see now. Okay, which is taking more time to load, and I'll try to add once again. Okay, we got it. Now if you scroll down, you can able to see the attachment option here, which is enabled. Now what I'll do is, instead of creating a complete item, I'll try to edit any existing item. We'll try to attach a document to that item, and we'll see how it works. And I'm just clicking this add attachment, and so I have a couple of attachment options are available, sorry, couple of documents are available in my system, and I'll take this one, which is a text file, and when I click save, then it will attach the document into this particular item. If you click this one, you can able to see the attachment will be available in the bottom, and also the attachment option is available this side. Okay, this is not available. If any point of time, if you missed it out any column inside your view, you have to go to this view and then click this edit current view option. This is we discussed in the previous session, and I'm just selecting this attachments, and then come down and then click OK. Now we have the attachment column available, and you can only able to see a attachment symbol here. If you have 5-10 documents also, it will show this attachment symbol, which means this item contains the attachment. Now we'll go back to the list settings. Under list settings, under advanced settings, we have, I'll close this one, we have this attachment to the list items are enabled. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to disable this one. When I click this disable, and when I click OK, we will get a message here: disabling attachments and saving this settings page will result in the deletion of all attachment. Are you sure want to disable this attachment? If I do this one, then all the attachments inside this list will delete permanently, and we won't get any option to restore it. Even when you go to the recycle bin also, you won't get that restore option in the SharePoint list. I'm clicking OK. Now we'll go to this one and we'll try to refresh it. It is taking time. The advanced settings also is taking time to update. So once it is completed, then the attachments will delete permanently from the list. We'll wait for a while. Okay, now the advanced settings is done. Now I'm going back to this specific item. This item we have added the attachment. If you scroll down, the attachment is still available, but the attachment is not showing. I'll refresh once again. Okay, which is taking more time. Okay, now when I click this one, now the attachment is disabled in this list. If you scroll down, you cannot able to see this attachment, and I'll click this edit one, scroll down, no attachment is available, and when I click this new, and if I scroll down, the attachment is not available. Now the attachments are disabled inside this list. Now the same way we have, if you go to this new item directly, which is opening this one, I want to create a folder. Under that I want to create the items. I don't want to create all the items in a root folder. So for that we have an option called folder. So if you go to the advanced settings, inside advanced settings, you can able to see a option name called folder. And before that, we'll discuss about the comments also available. Allow comments on list items. So which is available, the comment is available. For example, if I try to open this one, the very first item, now I can able to see the comments option here. I'm entering a comment as test comments on this item. If I click enter, now the comments is added here, and if you go to another item also, you can able to add the comments. The comments option is enabled here. You can type some comment like a test for demo. Then when I hit this one, for the second item also, the comment is enabled here, and I can able to add. And if I go to advanced settings, and if I disable this one, allow comments on this list item, I'm disabling this. And then when I click OK, now the comments option will be grayed out from this list, but the existing comments will not delete inside this one, because we have tried for the attachments will be deleted from the list. But if you disable the comments on the list, the existing comments will still remain on the same place. It will not delete or it will not move from the list. But the only thing is, if you disable the comments, the option of adding the comments to the particular items is not available. I'll check this one once the settings is saved, and which is taking time. Maybe in a couple of seconds the settings will apply to this list, and we'll see that now still the comments is enabled. I can able to enter the comments, but we'll wait for a while, or otherwise we'll try to refresh this page, which is taking more time. And I'll try to disable the comments, make it no, and click OK. Okay, now which is working. Now we are done. And if you refresh this one, when I click this, the comments is not available. If you hit this one, the comments shows up here, but you cannot able to add the comments. And if you go to any of the new item which we are not added any comments, if you click this comments, there is no comments, but I cannot able to click on this to enter the comments. And now this is grayed out to enter the information inside this comments. So this way you can able to enable and disable the attachment. You can able to enable and disable the comments. And we have couple of options also in the advanced settings, and we can able to work with a folder, and also we can able to work with the this dialog boxes, and quick property editing option also available, that we'll discuss in the next video.